Hello, this is Carol from Friendly Quail. I'm going to show you my craft room, my studio today. We're leaving for Wisconsin in a couple of days, and I have everything really clean. So I thought now would be a good time to do a tour. I'm going to turn this around and start the tour, and I hope I don't mess up. And I'm not sure if this will all be one video or if I'll have to break it into two. But hang on, I'll turn you around, we'll start. Okay, well that's my outside that I look at every day. Beautiful. My living room, dining area, and we start the craft room. This is a quilt that I'm working on, hand quilting right now. And because we have limited space, once I'm finished hand quilting whatever I want to hand quilt, I'm going to be selling my quilt frame, because I have over here a machine for quilting, and that's what I use most of the time now. So I'll do kind of like a little overview so you can see everything, and then I'll go around slower and show you some specifics, and then I think I'll pause, and then I'll show you how some things of how I organize. So, okay, this is what I was standing in front of, and I'll open it up and you can see it is fabric. Lots and lots and lots of fabric for quilting, and now I use it for junk journaling. So I have a lot of that. I'm gonna shut that up. And above here, I have some pine needle baskets that I'm working on. And on this side is all junk journaling things. In the basket is all my scraps. I'll show you later how I organize them. And I have cards and things in the JP Quotes box. All right, then here I have books. And I have quilting books and beading books and knitting books and crafting books and journaling books and lots of different things up there. I have, my husband made these nice shelves so above my windows, so I've got some fun things on there. Okay, a basket I made up on the shelf, and a few of my quilts that I changed those up for the season. Here are some of my personal journals, buttons, some decorations, some fun little childhood things. And I have my TV, and I have shelves here that hold a lot of things. This is my cutting table with IKEA things, which I'll show you in a minute. And then I have my sewing machine right over here. And I have that nice little hang-up grid that I can put things on. I have a bunch of my rubber stamps on there hanging up because they look cool. Okay, and this is, I have two of these carts that have lots of stuff on. I'm going to move it out of the way temporarily because they roll out. And behind it, and I can move these out of my way whenever I want, these are all the books that I use for ripping pages out of and things like that. I've got scrapbook paper on the right on that second shelf down. I've got those white containers have like music paper and pads of paper, ledger paper, that type of thing. The things next to it on the left are quilting things. But then I have two of these that I got at Hobby Lobby, and I use those for paper. And like I've got, each drawer has different kinds of paper in it. So, whoops, sorry. trying. And I have in the big drawer down, the first big drawer is like all my punches, and I've got gutted book covers and things like that. But I just love those. Those were from Hobby Lobby. And then I have some quilting things on the, and knitting on the upper right. And those two that are right here, this one is all kinds of things out of, you know, pictures that I could use for making tags. And this is all kinds of things for coffee dyeing. These are my ephemera boxes, how I store them. This is rubber stamps and all kinds of other colors of ink and things that I don't use all the time. And more buttons, my radio. Okay, and my desk. On top, I have this wonderful box thing standing, and that's from Hobby Lobby too, and I'll show you more of that. And my camera gets set up, this gets pulled out like this when I'm going to videotape something I'm making. So this box up here was like a letter box from an old office, and I have finished ephemera in there. So this is pretty much ephemera that's completely done. And I will put those up in here so I can pull from that when I am doing something. This is a book that I have all kinds of stickers in, the flowers and things like that. Then when I move down, I have I use this sometimes for buttons when I'm putting buttons on and everything. These are like alcohol inks, patinas. I have a stain thing in there. These are, this one's beautiful amulet bag, a very good friend Pamela made for me. And then I've got in here are distress oxides, and these are distress inks down below, and all of the little things I use to put them onto the things. Often use things in here. So I've got pencils and pens and ink refresher, and I've got over here nail polish and glitter, or you know, like sequins and things that I put in shakers. And I've got some of the what do you call it, the glaze or the gilding stuff. Then I've got some embossing things, staples, my most used punches, a little basket with some buttons and things that my friend Nancy made for me. I love it. These are some of my inks that I use all the time. And then I just have some notebooks where I keep track of things. This thing I love because I can turn on the light and have it nice and bright where I'm working. And I have some of the brushes for distressing and things like that. I have a little outline lamp, and this is one of my drawers out that I had out because I was making pockets out of book pages, and I'm going to do a video on it. And these are some things I have ready to do a video as well, which will be the last ones I do here for a while, but that's it. Now, next to where I work, I have this, and I have my paper recycle box, a garbage can, and then I can pull this out, and I'll show you more of this later, but I have that full of things for making tags and that. I have all my threads. I have my I have seam binding and things like that in there. And I have cutters and my folders and, you know, envelope thing. And this is all my Etsy things that everything in there has to do with Etsy and the things that I sell. All right. And my husband made these on wheels, these cabinets that fit underneath my machine. And I have things on top of that, cutters. And inside, we have all kinds of goodies, just a storage space. And then I have things that's for making a boho journal. I'm going to scooch by, sorry, I'm making you dizzy. And inside I have muslin and some of the things I use. I have just some of my bead things. I have a whole dresser full of bead things. But these are the ones that I use when I make dangles. And then on top of this one, I have large pieces of paper. And in here I have, guess what? Fabric. More fabric. These are big for quilt backs and things. And I have feed sacks from the past. All right. And then here I have, that's a cat bed. Squares that I've cut out of scraps and can pull out and make quilts from. So that's just a basic overview. I'm going to pause and then I'm going to show you some individual things. This is how I store my scraps. And I have it in a burger basket. And I bought a bunch of these at Amazon. They're plastic envelopes. And I've got scraps in them. So this one here actually has a bunch of little pockets that I made out of scraps. So I can decorate and just put it into something. I have Christmas scraps. I have scraps of kind of like coffee dyed, and some of them are book pages and things like that I can use for collaging. This is all just black things. This is book pages and maps that I use, and some papers that I put in that I can rip up for collaging. Coffee dyed. This is ledger paper and different scraps that I can use for collaging. This is some eco dyed paper that ripped, or what I used parts of it, and that I use for backs of tags and collaging. Some music paper. These are all white things that I cut off when I did fussy cutting. I use that to make tags. I got some avocado dyed papers. This is pinks and kind of pink and purple, yellows. This is browns and some of the leftover scraps. This is more brown, but it also has, it's all neutral stuff, some whites and things. This one is blues. This one's greens. This is some file folder or cardstock scraps that are not white. They're that beigey color. And then these are, that's vellum scraps. And then these are some things I printed for collaging. So that is how I organize my scraps. And so then when I'm going to do like a master board or something, I can just pull these out and use whatever I want. I'm going to pause again for a minute here, and I'll see you back in a minute. I'm back. I'm going to show you this antique sewing box and what I have in there for things. Okay, for journals. I have lots of things I've made, like dangles and keys and paperclip dangles, and I have some of the small eyelets. And then this opens up, and in here I've got things like burlap wrap and cheesecloth and things. And then underneath, I've got all kinds of different paper clips, and I have bling and lots of different ribbons. On the top on this side, I have things to put on tags, all the crocheted things that my sister-in-law made, and some pieces of lace and some of the paper flowers and that type of thing. And then if I open this side up, I have stickers and things on this side. And then you can see more things on the bottom. These are all kinds of trinkets and things that I use. And paper clips that are dyed and that type of thing. So I'm going to pause a second again, and I'll show you some. This is one of my carts, and on this one I have all of my glue in this box. It's on top of this box because there's a nice cover, and then inside I have like my extra UD glue and stuff like that, and of course my remotes. And on the side I just have a bunch of stuff shoved in that I want to keep handy, and some of the collages that my niece made for me. And on this side I've got all kinds of ideas for making tags, or partially made tags, or things I've got for making tags. A few things in here that are finished, but most of it's like unfinished things that I pull from when I need to make tags. Like these are some I used alcohol ink and sprayed and then cut them into tags. Ideas for how to make some pockets and things. So that's all right next to me when I'm working. I have all of my extra glues, and I have paints, and lots of different things on there. And this is a basket with some fabric in, and that puzzle thing, I have puzzle pieces in there that I've painted or fixed up to use on tags. And then down here I have dies and extra glue and that type of thing on the bottom of there. And I got my little waste basket here. Now that's one cart, and then this is my other cart. And I'm going to spin her around. This is the side I have out when I'm working. I have scissors, and I have some trims and things, but not a lot of them there. I have my rulers here. I have all my washi tape hanging on the side on rings, so I can get at it very quickly. That's where I have used tea bags that are waiting to be emptied. I have a big plastic container full of scraps of lace and ribbons and things that I pull out when I'm making tags. And I also have tape hanging up and a few more special scissors and things on the side. And I have a mat for a silicone mat. I got this We Are Memory Keepers edition that I hang up, and I have my glue gun and lots of rings and little things hanging on that. I have lots of pens. I have this nice little pen container. It's like for silverware, but I use it for pens. And these little boxes are part of that kit from We Are Memory Keepers. And so are the hooks. And like I have my packing tape here. On this shelf I have pens, and I have glue bottles that are waiting to be used. I have my wipes and that type of thing, and then those orange and black containers are full of buttons. So lots and lots of storage on those carts. And I'm gonna pause, and I'll be right back. I'm back. When I use my sewing machine, I actually push it out and get it where I can get a lot more space and work on it like this. And I have a nice light above it. And then this is wonderful. My husband made it from IKEA cabinets. And he put a top on it, and he put it on a base with wheels so I can move it when I want to. And then I bought these drawers, and I have lots of things in the drawers. Like this is trims and things and odds and ends. I have all kinds of fabric strips down in the bottom here. This is all holiday trims. Christmas, Halloween, Easter, things like that. So I can use that for trims and in journals. And then this is lots of odds and ends that I have that I can use, like embroidered things, quilt things. I can use them in journals, or I could make them into a quilt, but I'll probably use it in a journal. On this side, we put drawers in the top. So like I have all of my cutting tools in the top drawer. In the next drawer down, I have pins and extra things. And a lot of that is in there for quilting. All right, and then in the top drawer here, I have my bulb pins and all of my charms and that type of thing. I've got tons of boxes, little boxes in there, and they all have different things in. And then in this drawer, whoops, it's stuck. I have, this is all eyelet things. I have a little thing I put my crocodile and corner cruncher. I have my beading tools here. These are really good fabric scissors that I don't use on paper, so I keep them aside when I'm not using it. On the bottom, I have 2 boxes. In this box, I have yarns and sari silk and, cords for tying up journals and lots of little things that are basically yarn type things. This box, I have all my ribbons and lace, and I have them inside of things. So like I have ribbon wound up, and it's in these boxes like this. And then I have this with lace in it. And the bottom one down there has lace in it as well. So it's all very organized. Okay. I have a little thing hanging on the side. Now I can push this out of the way so that I can show you what's on this side. My husband put some little extra shelves like this so that I would have a little bit more space. And this is my big shot down here, but I have an art journal sitting on top of it right now. This is full of safety pins. This is full of all kinds of cards, like for making ephemera. It's like, what do you call them? Flashcards and things like that. I've got bags, and this is just fabric in here. This bottom drawer here is tissue paper and napkins. So I've got all that, and these are some sewing things. And then down here I've got, I make gift bags, and I have rubber gloves and some other various items. And this back part I don't use as often, so it's okay if sometimes this is pressed inside of here. And of course I have my sewing supplies and things up there on top. And these are wonderful boxes. I'm going to pull them down and show you what's in those. These 2 bins that were up on a shelf have things in there like all kinds of lace, like things I buy at thrift stores, so I can use all of that. And in this one I have more, and I have scarves and things. I thought this would be cool to use in a boho journal for a pocket or something like that. So those are just, I bought these at the dollar store or Dollar Tree or something. Ugh, okay. And then I bought these I have these 2 brown boxes that I bought at a yard sale. And in this one, I have all my dies, my die cuts and things for my Big Shot. I don't have tons of them because I don't use that as much as I thought I would. But in this, I have all kinds of things for making ephemera. And I have some already purchased, you know, ephemera that's in here, like cards and things that I can pull out. These are Tim Holtz, and these are some of those, I forget the name of them, that everybody uses up. But things that are already ready that I can pull out and use in ephemera. And in this photo box here, let's pull it out. Sorry. I have all kinds of things that I can use for ephemera making as well. I have some cards, pictures, old postcards. So I just pull this out when I'm making things, and then I've got lots and lots of things to choose from. And in this last box, this is where I have all of my snippet clusters that I've made. So you can see a few for Halloween, because I did a Halloween journal, so I just made some of them. And I make a lot of these because I give this with a dangle to anyone who buys from me, my Etsy shop, which is on vacation now till I get back. So that's a fun thing too. Well, let me think. Oh, I want to pull down one of these. So at least one to show you what's in there. Sorry if I'm getting you dizzy. Okay, these I bought and I just love them. This is probably such an excellent way to store ephemera. These are purchased ephemera. That's flowers and things. That's Tim Holtz. So every box, these are a little bit bigger ones. These are bigger ones. Oops, I have some things in here. But every box has something different in it. So when I'm making little things, these are tiny for on tags. These are like purchased ephemera things. So I just pull out these little boxes, and I've got lots and lots of things to pull from. These are all mushrooms. These are birds. These are butterflies that I've already cut out. These are milk bottle things. You know, so stamps. And I got Tim Holtz people divided by size. Small, medium, and large. Now, in the other ones, I've got two more. I mean, I have numbers and tags and, you know, wonderful things for making all the little labels and that type of thing. I won't get them all out, but you can see I have a lot of things for making ephemera, and that has made it so much easier to find them because I do have a lot. I've got it all organized. So let me pause again. This is the last thing I wanted to show you. This is my basket where I keep all my little tiny snippets for making snippets, clusters. I make snippet rolls, and whenever I'm cutting something up, and these are just like for bases of snippet rolls, I've used this big stuff to make this kind of stiff stuff to put paper and fabric things on that I can then make into pockets. But I have lots of little pieces of fabric that I can use for making snippets and little lace bits and that type of thing. So that is what I use, handmade basket, for my snippet rolls. So I'm almost at a half hour, so I'm doing it all in one. I'm going to end, and say thank you for sharing my tour today and seeing my wonderful room and all the things I have that my husband helped with, putting up the shelves and all of that, and all of my fun things. And my husband can't complain because he does stuff like this too. He's a carver and he's got lots of wood and tools and things, so he never complains. So that's it. And I'm all sweaty now. I'm just going to say, Carol from Friendly Quail with COVID hair. Going to get a cut soon. And I'm going to say bye.